Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sankhaya. I can say hello to everyone on the east side of the world: Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, and good afternoon into the evening here in the United States. Happy Memorial Day to all of you. Well, actually, Memorial Weekend, and tomorrow is Monday, Memorial Day. I have decided to take a break from writing and coming out here in nature to give this talk. Um, so today's titled is "We Lost a Good One," karma, comma. Uh, what was my title? We lost a good one. How karma works, or something like that. It's you know, as I'm writing this book, it's a little challenging. It's because things are always developing in the world. It's like the same wish that I had when I was in my senior year of high school. It was chaotic, and everybody wished that, listen, this is the year I graduate, let's not have any chaotic thing. Then I fell in love on my senior year in high school, and then but right, and then I like dropped out. How many times did I drop out? One, two, dropped out twice in high school before finishing up at Life Skills Center of Pinellas. Now I'm teaching life skills to all of you. Then in college, my senior year, I'm like, yeah, we're almost close to the finish line. Nothing better happens. And boom, my grandmother dies, and then my best friend dies. So now I'm writing this book, and I'm trying to finish it up, and then I'm just like, let's sail through this without any problems. And boom, we have all of these things going on in the world, including the most latest mass shooting in Texas, Uvalde. Is that how you say that city? Uvalde, Texas, with the very young shooter killing, what, 22? Is it 22? Uh, um, so it's been challenging, right? Every time when I try to finish something up, it's a little challenging towards the end. And the first part of the book is describing the problem. And as I'm writing the how to solve the problem, I have to go back to describing the problem because there's more problem being created in the world, um, from shootings to everything. So anyways, I have reserved, and I have not commented yet on the Uvalde shooting. I have kept noble silence so far. But again, as I was writing, um, one of a young venerable in Vietnam, Venerable Minh Chi, passed away from an illness, and I'm not sure what that illness is, but it seems like a compound of problems. And I've yet to reach out to the Vietnamese venerables that visited him and spoke to him. It's a sensitive thing right now. I don't want to reach out and start questioning. But part of this talk, I will describe what I have seen. And part of this talk is to explain a little bit of how karma works. And though I don't know Venerable Minh Chi directly, he's been a teacher for a good minute, even though he's only, he was born in 1995, so quite fairly young. Young, but a very talented venerable, a teacher, a Dhamma teacher. He belongs to the Mahayana tradition. And so, we all kind of follow each other. And again, when someone is sick, you don't really want to, especially if they're actively suffering, you don't really want to, bother them too much. But so Venerable Minh Chi, if you ever look at him, he looks very serene, a very serene face, a very peaceful face, very peaceful man, very peaceful, holy man. I mean, just if you just seen him just across from your laptop just on the screen itself, and you realize, wow, this is a person I can be around all day because of the energy, just the energy you feel, not being in his presence alone. And I wanted to capture this moment to give this talk because I know I would forget. Every time when I drag myself out here and activate all social media, I um, I just wanted to capture this talk just because things are moving really quick. So all of his pictures, you see that he's very active in the Dhamma world, very active as a Buddhist teacher and into the teachings of the Buddha. You see him exemplifying what a Bailey, no, 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 no. You see him exemplifying a life of a bodhisattva, um, and teaching and donating food and caring for children. And I mean, you can tell that he was loved by all of the communities that he was engaged in. And of course, pictures only represent a small portion of what they actually really do, right? So that's a lot of teachings and a lot of volunteering and a lot of good work that he's been doing. Then slowly you see him, and of course, before he got sick, he's standing, he's walking, he's talking, he's smiling. Then somewhere down the road, he gets amputated. One of his left leg was amputated. And so he's trying his hardest as he can to continue his work while on crutches. Then slowly you see a trach right here. Then slowly you see him having trouble eating and he's on a feeding tube. And then you see his students taking him out in nature like this, on a kind of like a stretcher, but it looks a little bit kind of like a chair that leans back, and you can just see that he's in a lying down position, trying to absorb as much nature as he possibly can. This goes on for a little bit more than a year. You Oh my god, I just lost that call. Just give me 1 second real quick.
Good evening.
Good evening, most venerable Shanti. How are you? I'm sorry I missed your call there. I'm recording live on a teaching online.
Are you doing something else?
No. Everything is well over here. Yes.
All right. Okay, how are you doing? I saw you all the program, everything. You're in
Yes.
Florida?
Yes. All is well here. Just teaching a lot and trying to finish my book before October. They asked me to write a book, so I'm trying to finish.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I just wondering whether you can give a discussion and talk in the second week of the June.
Yes.
June, I don't know what days. I think June 13, 14, around that time.
It looks like June 12th.
I think so. Let me check my calendar.
June 12th, because June 13th is my birthday.
Oh my goodness! Oh, wow! June 13, your birthday.
Yes, I'm turning 35. Very, very old.
You are very, very young. Yes, June 12.
June 12th. Yes. I can give a talk for you anytime. Yes.
Yes, okay. See, 11 o'clock our time. I don't know your time, 2:30 or whatever time.
Yeah, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock Florida time. Yes.
Yeah, just keep in your calendar June 12. And you can talk anything. I don't mind whatever is okay.
You have a
Yes.
topic? Do you have a topic for me to
No,
talk
no,
or
no. You,
no?
you, you, you choose your topic.
I choose. Okay. Okay.
I know
Okay.
so many things about your topic. Is okay, no problem.
Okay. Very good.
Okay, and then I keep in my calendar June 12th, second week of the next month, Sunday around 11 our time, your time, around 11:30 whatever time. So, okay,
Yes.
so everything okay, sir?
Yes, everything is well. I'm very happy to hear from you. I was looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, yeah, I was looking today, and all right,
Thank you, sir.
so, okay, take
Yes.
care and yourself, and hope to see you around June 12th.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Thank you. You have a
All right.
wonderful evening.
You too.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
I'll
May the
talk to you
freedom
then.
bless
Okay.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
No, we're not taking any more phone calls. Am I still live? I'm still live. TikTok would hold it that long for me, just for me. I apologize, you all. I was getting an incoming call from a most venerable in California to give a talk a day before my birthday uh, in the second week of June. So let me go back to speaking about Venerable Min. Oh no, let me do this again. Okay, no, I'll just leave it. So, um, so you see him on this chair in his reclined back, and slowly you start to see pictures of his skin being very pale, and then at one point you see oxygen in his nose. Um, and I think in 15 years of my medical clinical experience in the interpretation as an interpreter, I have never seen oxygen tanks that long. It was like half the size of this tree. And there were like 5 of them. And so I'm looking at the oxygen tanks and my eyes are like, ooh. So, of course, these are good reminders, not for you see, not just for lay people. And I'm glad that Venerable Min um, carried us with him throughout all the stages of his medical battles, because these are all learning lessons, these are all teachable moments, and these are all learning moments of suffering, the first noble truth. And I couldn't help but to sit there, right? I mean, what is going through my mind as I'm, observing one of the most influential young venerables who is so serene. There's no evil to this man. You see, the answer lies in the eyes. It truly does. The answer lies in the eyes. You want to, the, the wicked or the wise, the fool, the good, the bad, it all lies in the eyes, in the eyeballs, if you know how to look carefully. As a matter of fact, at one time in the court setting, as a legal interpreter, I once stood next. I've stand next to so many defendants I can't even count. But there was this cop, there was this bailiff that stood in front. Usually, you have a bailiff either behind or in front, or one in front or one behind. Especially if they're really violent, you would have a bailiff in the front and 2 bailiffs but behind the defendant. And I mean, some of them were like really in ready positions. Like they'll have their hands right behind the defendant just in case they try to make a move. And this one bailiff, I'll never forget it because he was unlike any other bailiffs in the courtroom. He had laser beams eyes into the defendant. I mean, this bailiff, this deputy, penetrated this guy's soul in the moment of watching him. All the defendant's doing is standing here listening to the judge, and all I'm doing is just just like I was interpreting, and I was like, Oh my God, what's happening? Anyway, you analyze the deputy a little bit longer, you realize that something happened along the way that led him to be in this courtroom. Matter of fact, it gives insight that he was probably injured really bad. And as a direct result of that injury, he just doesn't trust people. And as a matter of fact, very on edge. Very on edge. I don't blame him. I mean, a day in their job is really tough, nonetheless getting hurt intentionally by other people. And so, but I looked at his eyes and I realized that, wow, just a big wow. It's very profound and deep. Wow. And I left the courtroom with a lot of compassion. And I just hope, one day he achieved peace. As a matter of fact, one day everybody achieved peace in that courtroom just because. So, anyways, you look at Venerable Min's eyes and you realize this man has never done harm to anybody, nor does he have the intention or ill will to do harm in the near foreseeable future, simply put. So I was convinced that what an innocent soul, and not the definition of soul like you all think. I'm using soul so that everyone can understand the context of this talk, right? Not Buddhism soul, definition wise. So he passed away, I believe, 2 or 3 days ago. And I think all of us are really happy for him, the fact that he passed away. Just because that amount of physical suffering medically was tough to watch. People like me have developed thick skin along the way, doing social work for so long, and legal and medical settings for so long, and watching people die in front of us, in front of me. I've watched my patients die in front of me. I have spoken to the purple team with hospice. I have heard things that I am just like. Matter of fact, the hospice people and people in palliative care, they didn't even know I was the interpreter. They actually treated me like if I was the son of the patient, or the grandson of the patient, or the nephew of the patient. There's times where there's no tag that I wear that says interpreter, you know? And sometimes the things are so hectic and crazy in the ER setting, palliative care settings, and so I'm just relaying information, talking very active. And one day, I had a patient with stomach cancer. And anyways, we were at, what hospital we were at? Northside. It's got to be Northside. And we were on, I don't know what floor, second floor. And one of the nurses pulled me aside and she had a moment with me. Again, it's one of those moments. And I was just like, yes. And she's treating me like a family member, and she does not know that I'm an interpreter. It's really fun being an interpreter because you're like 007 out in the field, literally like undercover. And then you're going to see the way how people treat your patients and clients and treat you as the interpreter. And they have no idea who you are. And so the nurse was just like, we need to let you know this. It's that her type of breathing right now, and she said some kind of medical term that describes the type of breathing, and she says, your aunt is at risk of imminent death. And my life was 300 miles an hour back then. I had so much. I remember clearly that day I had to go to work for another job. I was just trying to fly out of the hospital really fast. And when she says she's at risk of imminent death, I looked at her like, okay. And I walked back into the room and my soul left my body. And I saw a Buddhist nun there. It was kind of strange because they're Christian, and then there's a Buddhist nun there comforting her. So I was just like, it just compounds the confusion of the whole environment. And all their kids are there. And I saw the breathing. I mean, her breathing it was really struggling. We take thousands of breaths each day. And how many of you notice your breaths? Wow. I mean, for me to just stand there and walk. What just happened? Guys, just opened my eyes. This is a raccoon just like out of the lake, and I'm running that way. What time is it? Raccoon's not supposed to be out this time. Bailey, you see that raccoon right there? Yeah. Don't run after it, and don't get near it. Sheesh. So again, I'm watching this patient, Miss Doan. I've never seen a human gasp for air and struggling to breathe. It was such a moment. And I'm glad I kind of stuck around for the next couple of minutes. And the Buddhist nun did a really good job. The Buddhist nun came and started soothing her and trying to prepare her to let go. Basically, she was whispering in her ear to let go. Just let go. Let go of everything. Let go of greed, anger, let go of ignorance, let go of everything. And then she passed. I left before she passed. So yeah, back to Venerable Min. You know, I think all of us are really happy, truly happy, that he have finally no longer suffer physically. Then of course it's all over now. Then of course I went back to reflection on karma, and this is what brought in today's talk. And I realized that ain't no joke with karma. And what you did in your last, whatever Venerable Min did in his last life, I can't imagine him doing anything in this life. And if he did, he obviously, oh, I'm getting bit up. And if he did, he obviously changed at a very high rate of speed, and it fooled me. So I have reason to believe that whatever he did is happened in the past life, not in this life, or multiple past lives, and it's now ripening. And what we witnessed there is karma ripening, unfolding right in front of us, right before us. And it is a good reminder because let's say I want to disrobe. See, the rule says I can just tell one other person that I'm disrobing, and out of these robes I go, and into criminal clothes I come. Let's say I want to like rob a bank tomorrow. Let's say that. I tell you what, you see how people die, and you see how people suffer. And if your memory serves you well, you will have a very long conversation with yourself before you start harming other people or anything. Because you may get away with it in this lifetime. This is why a lot of you wonderful TikTok commenters are like, well, how come Donald Trump is just like kicking back for so long and karma's taking a very long ass time? Some of these comments, I fall off the chair laughing with some of these comments that my TikTokers leave. And I share the frustration with some of you. Yes, sometimes, you know, the Venerable says karma never forgets an address. And then, of course, all of you are like, well, karma's taking their sweet-ass time to ripen for certain individuals that is continuing to do harm, and nothing is happening to them. Oh, but rest assured, folks, rest assured that when it does come, it is a tornado. It is a tornado that rips unlike any other. When it comes, I mean, and let me say some of this too, and please don't get mad at me for saying this, and I don't mean anything when I say this. I'm just saying it out of the book. All right, these beautiful, innocent, pure children that died in this Uvalde, Texas shooting. You see some of their faces, and they're innocent, clearly. You cannot say that these kids raped people. You cannot say that these kids killed anybody. You cannot say that these kids did anything in this lifetime that is of capital felony level. Period. I've analyzed their face also too. I'm going through the victims' faces, and I'm just like, it hurts so bad to see kids die. It hurts bad to see kids die from natural causes of sickness and cancer. St. Jude Cancer Foundation. And it it turns your stomach upside down to hear that they have been shot and killed in a place where they're supposed to feel safe. And some of the stories that emerges from it, you know, they teach us in our training not to be moved by anything that is good or bad. One couldn't help but to be quite moved by the suffering that these kids went through. But at the same time, I know deep down from the teachings of karma is that whatever they did in their last lives or previous lives have led them to die in the manner that it is today. And a lot of comments on TikTok, previous videos. And some of these things I would never be able to really get or fully understand, just like the sharing, mutual sharing and of understanding and curiosity with all of you, you know. But I don't write the way how karma works. I just read it, observe it, watch it, investigate it. And I'm one of those monks that investigate karma very closely by and through these close observations of people's lives. And clearly you see it's no joke. When it comes, it comes. So we look at Venerable Min's life and we see, and you know, and the magnitude, the depth and magnitude of his karmic debts was so great that he could not even escape in this lifetime. The amount of good work that he has done, the Dhamma that he has spread, and the amount of people that has come and visited, I mean, the dozens and hundreds of people, including most noticeable monks like Venerable Tit Kai Tan and Venerable what's his name? What's his Pali name? Mocha Vicha Mocha Min Yai had visited him. And clearly you see that he was loved by all, and he has touched with by so many people. And you see that when karma strikes, it will strike slowly and painfully, meticulously, through every cells in your body. I don't ever think I've heard any monk go into details like this. And he couldn't even escape. Poor guy. Born in 95. That makes him how old? How old? How old is he? 95. 27? 27 years old. 27 short years on this earth. What does that tell us? Ooh. What does that? Oh. Well, that tells us is that we don't know our own karmic debts. I don't even know my own karmic debts. Well, actually, I kind of do. Actually, I have probably 40% insight into my own. But for the rest of you, look at how you have been suffering and what is waiting in store for you in the near foreseeable future. Look at the patterns of suffering. Look at the recency and frequency of suffering. Look at the people that's in your life. Look at the people that are sucking the blood out of you. Money, time, energy, effort. And so the antidote for this, how do we fix this? How do we undo the workings or slow down the working? The proper word here is slow down. I'm trying to put the brakes on karma. Is to try to do as much good as you possibly can and give as much as you possibly can. Give your time, energy, effort. Dedicate your whole life to humanity. In hope. There's no guarantee. In hope that you will slow down the workings, the wheel of the law of cause and effect. And may you never suffer like Venerable Min. May you never suffer like some of these victims that we have seen. Some of these horrendous deaths that we have observed. And so, I mean, just go on Google and just look up all the type of manner of deaths that a human can actually go through. So I hope that this was a worthwhile talk, a meaningful talk, a comprehensive talk, and a sample. It serves as a sample of karma. And you know, and I thought to myself, and I said, Jidao, you better not, you better not join the dark side, because you know what's waiting in store for you. And it's a conversation we all need to have with ourselves, right? Never join the dark side, no matter what has happened to you in your life, abuse, um, trauma, abuse, addictions. Never ever join the dark side. I prayed when I looked at Venerable Min's death. I prayed. I was like, oh man, I have to give 10 times more than what I'm already doing now, so that I never ever ever experience that. To the trach thing alone, oh my God. I've known people with those trachs. Oh my God. You just think about it. You just look at the trach alone, and it's wake you up. You see it in person, and you'll never forget what the things that you have seen. And so, again, and when I mean seeing it, it does not mean just seeing with your eyes. When your heart internalizes it, when your heart sees it, trust me, there's no way you could ever do harm to yourself or other people in this lifetime. You fully get it. You fully live it. And you fully know it. Venerable Min's death serves as a reminder for not just the monastic community, but for the lay community, that always be mindful of your speech, always be mindful of your thoughts, always be mindful of your actions. Russell Brand responded to the shooting of the Uvalde shooting in Texas. And one thing he says, which I failed to say, he was very mindful at what he said. And when he says, go back to yourself, changing yourself, you inspire other people to change. And he says, look at yourself, look at what you're saying, what you're doing, how you are texting. That's what got me there, was the way how you're texting, because that's one way to practice speech, is it not? And under the Noble Eightfold Path, right speech, is it not? Aha. And I was like, Russell Brand, oh, man, is he quite mindful. Because we monastics had left that out. We will give you all the elements of right speech, but we also forget about the texting part. And how many of us text in a day? With all your little friends in your phone, yes you do. Either you spread love or hate right through your little fingers. And that's how you start creating karma. Yes, yes. Yes, indeed. So I hope that this serves as a reminder for all of you. I hope that you all were moved by this story. And I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and at the time of this talk, but try to reel it back in. Try to reel yourself back in, back to meditation. Listen to peaceful stuff like Buddhist music, the chant of metta, the chant of metta. And count your breaths. In breath 1, out breath 1. In breath 2, out breath 2. All the way to 10. Practice mindfulness of the breath also helps you address our defilements, your defilements. Leads the path to purifying your mind. May you all never, ever suffer the way Venerable Min did. May you all never, ever suffer greatly both mentally and physically. So I would like to, it's getting dark out here, quite really dark out here. And I like to conclude my talk for the day. I think you all got the point, got the message. There will be more talks to come as I try to find the time for it, especially tomorrow. Try to give a talk tomorrow evenings around same time, 8 p.m., 7 p.m. And don't get too involved with the worldly affairs. You know, is it getting worse? Probably. But you know, every 10 years, well, actually every year, this is the true nature of reality of our society. You have to just remind yourself that. This is the true nature of reality of our society, of our world. And we first have to just look right here within, right here. Peace within us, peace in the now. Stay in the now, stay in the moment. With your breath, stay in the moment with yourself. Reel it back in. That's what I always say. Reel it back in. Don't get too far out there to the point where nobody can reel you back in. You reel yourself back in. And all of you all are doing that right now, right? You care, you're curious, you want to learn about peace, you want to learn about yourself, you want to learn about spirituality. That's why you're listening, right? So bless your heart and bless your soul. My wish for all of you, again, may you all be well, be happy, be free, be happy. May you all know what it's like to do good. May you all know what it's like to be good. May you all do good in the world, as goodness creates happiness, and not happiness creates happiness. It is by and through goodness that you create happiness within yourself and other people around you. It is by doing good that you will slow down the workings of cause and effect for yourself. It is by doing good that you mitigate your karmic debts, whatever that may be. It is by doing good that may you suffer less. It is doing good that it will lead to the good life, and a good life equals a good death. May you all achieve true inner happiness. May you all achieve true inner liberation. May you all achieve true inner freedom. May you all realize the light of your own true nature. May you all be a light in a world of darkness. May you lead other people into the light of wisdom of the teachings of the Buddha. May you all be healed and be a source of healing for others. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May you all go in peace. May you all enjoy a wonderful, lovely, and safe Memorial Day tomorrow. And I will see you all then. Take care.